G'day everybody and welcome back to episode 7 of the Pressure Point podcast. Now before I dive right into things, Marcus, I think a congratulations is in order.
The Mighty Reds winning the league title on the weekend. It's been one of the best weekends of my sporting life, that's for sure.
Well, it almost was a Liverpool title the way you guys held most of the season to yourselves.
Yeah, well, we had it won before all this lockdown stuff happened. It was just a matter of when it was going to happen. So 2 games in and we finally did it. So it was wild celebrations on Friday night, that's for sure.
Oh, I can only imagine. And not to talk too much about other sports that aren't footy, as we're focused on here, but was it just incredible?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Obviously, it's the first time one of my teams has won a premiership. So to experience that and to experience that feeling was pretty amazing. It's hard to explain the feeling that you do get, and it was just relief really. 30 years since I last won it, so it was good, and to share it with some of your closest mates who also go for Liverpool was great too. So it's a great night.
No doubt. You're talking to someone who understands Richmond's won 2 in the last 3 years, if you've forgotten. So.
Yeah, I thought you might know.
Well, moving on back to football talk now. A couple of big things happened over the weekend. One of the most notable, I thought, was Mick Malthouse coming out and saying he doesn't consider Nat Fyfe a champion of the game. I mean, does 2 Brownlow medals not do that anymore? Or what do you reckon?
He needs to give it up. He's washed up. He's absolutely washed up. He's lost the plot, and he lost the plot ever since he coached Carlton. He's just give it up, Mick. It's ridiculous.
I mean, what more does Fyfe have to do?
Yeah, I know.
2 Brownlow medals. Like.
How good is that video of the Fyfe in that fight last night? Fyfe walking around looking for Mick Malthouse. That was good.
Honestly, if I was Fyfe, I would have taken that very personally. But
yeah, for sure. Although, yeah.
Fyfe's a pretty easy going bloke. I don't reckon it would have hurt him too much.
Fyfe would just be like, look at my 2 Brownlows, mate.
Yeah. Easy. Enough said.
Yeah.
Enough said. Another thing that happened over the weekend as well, with a lot of the games, I noticed personally myself anyway, 50-metre penalties giving out left, right and centre. I don't know about you, but I'm not sure the definition of a 50-metre penalty anymore.
Well, apparently you can give away 90-metre penalties.
Eddie Betts there.
Yeah.
They're trying to give the game away. But, I mean, I don't know what the go is. You see them, they'll get pushed as they're marking the ball, and now that's 50. Don't you have to be a mark before the 50 can be paid?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought it had to be a mark before you could then infringe, to then give a 50 away.
Yeah. It's the one where you're running past into that space, that protected area. I think that's one, that rule is just... The punishment for that is way too harsh.
It's too severe.
Yeah.
Even if they're going to do what they did in the old days and only have it a 15-metre penalty for those ones.
Just for those.
If you're pushing someone after the plate, different story. But if you're just running past him, come on, like.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The punishment doesn't fit the crime.
No, and the interpretation's not clear enough. In my eyes, because I see sometimes where someone's running right next to him and they won't call it, and sometimes he's 10 metres away and they're like, no, he's too close.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Betts running out of the goal square.
Well, apparently that's a new rule.
Yeah.
Did you see what Eddie said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about it.
No, well, yeah, it's ridiculous. So, and that could have easily have cost Carlton the game.
Oh, big time. Or there would have been an uproar if that.
Yeah, for sure. There would have been a lot of controversy. But yeah, it's just too much. It's just ridiculous. But I just think that one where they're running into the protected space, that one needs to get looked at the most, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just too harsh.
Definitely. Yeah. Especially for the penalty, it's too much.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of inconsistencies and things that aren't very clear, the match review system in terms of getting suspended and whatnot, one that I'm unsure of is the Silvani hit on the weekend. Zach Merritt, for those who don't know, clocked Silvani in the ribs with a bit of a punch as he took the mark. Do you think this has purely been because Silvani broke his ribs?
Yeah.
Do you think if Silvani didn't get injured, they wouldn't have even looked at it?
Definitely. Yeah. It's only because he got injured.
Yeah.
I think that happens how many times a game? Something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the ruling, if someone gets injured, you get suspended? Or should it just be for the action?
Well, you just look at that Burgoyne incident a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The reason why he didn't get suspended was Dangerfield was fine. Yeah. I think this one is way less of an impact, compared to that one, but just Silvani ended up getting broken ribs from it.
Just unlucky.
If Silvani played on, no one would even be looking at it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have questioned it.
Yeah.
But now Merritt's got a week. which
Yep.
I'm not sure I agree with because, like you said, it happens 100 times a game. It's just unlucky.
It's just very unlucky, yeah.
I think the AFL is going to make a stance and say it's either the action or they're going to come out and say it just depends if the player gets hurt or not. And then it's luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Because you can do anything essentially as long as the player doesn't get permanently injured or not permanently injured, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
As long as he doesn't get sent off the ground from injury, you pretty much get away with anything.
If you whack someone and they're fine, they get up straight away.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You're fine, yeah. Well, when they give away things like that, they're pretty much saying that.
It's just a bit shit for Silvani. He's sort of getting called like a bit soft. But like, mate, he's got broken ribs and a bruised lung. Like,
yeah, well, what's he supposed to do?
I know.
There's only so much milk a man can drink to get his bones a bit stronger. What's he supposed to do?
Exactly right. So I don't agree with like the people coming out and giving Silvani shit about it because obviously it hurt him. So, but yeah, I don't know. As you said, if he didn't get injured, there'd be no questions asked. They wouldn't have even pick that up on the replays. No, I don't reckon.
You wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Oh,
well. One last thing I'll mention is a lot of low scoring over the weekend.
Yeah.
Does this come down to the quarters again? I know we've seen games with the quarters and been quite high scoring. Is it purely the quarters, or do you think it's just quality of football?
I think it's the quality of football. I think it is. Like, I don't know. It's just so different. Like, I genuinely think teams are just more worried about losing than winning the game.
Yeah.
It's all about team defense, team zoning, all that sort of stuff. I don't know. Like, I think the close games are sort of taking the shine off what's actually happening. Like the close games make it exciting, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, how good's footy? It's great." But, geez.
But even they're fairly low scoring.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you look at Melbourne Geelong.
Yeah,
they were 14 each at half time.
Yeah, it was awful. Like
that was. I think commentators were calling it the worst first half of footy ever.
Yes.
Or definitely the lowest scoring.
But the scores were close at half time, so people's eyes, it's a good game because it's contested. No, people want goals. People want scores. That's what you go to the footy to see. Not that we can go, but that's what you watch the footy to see. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I think how do they change it? It's up to the coaches, really.
I think it's more game styles because you can't blame the 16-minute quarters because you've seen teams able to score in those short terms. So
bloody Brisbane kicked 10 goals, 23.
Yeah.
They've had 33 scoring shots.
Yeah, that's plenty of shots on goal.
Exactly right. So teams are capable of kicking big scores if they want to. It's just, it just comes down to that, the game style. So, yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll dive into this week's games and we'll discuss that in more further detail. We'll start with the Sydney versus Bulldogs, and geez, it was an interesting game. And Tim English, how good is he?
I think it's his best game of his career.
It would have
Some
to
were
be.
calling it, yeah. So, he's just got really, really good hands. For his age as well, I think he's only 22, 23, still very young. So I think the Bulldogs have got a very good ruckman there. In saying that though, Sydney did, I think Naismith went down with his ACL, so they were he took his opportunity and really dominated the game. So
you can only deal with what you got in front of you.
Exactly. So. Yeah, but the Dogs look like they've found a bit of form, which is good after a slow start.
We were worried the first couple of weeks. We were talking about it, how they thought the Dogs were sort of dropping form, but it's good that they've picked it back up. They're starting to play well again, and all their good players are really starting to pick up. So
and for the Swans, the Pap. Oh, how good is he?
Jeez, every week you must watch him. You must be spewing. Carlton didn't get him.
What is it? 14 more weeks until he's a Blueberger. Geez, he'd be very good at the Blues, but he's. Every week he just seems to just be getting better and better. So
he's just a bull, isn't he? He's just such a little meatball. He just gets
And he's just so smart around goal as well. He can kick him from anywhere.
He knows where he is on the ground at all times, which is really good. So that was a really good game. But we'll go to GWS Collingwood now. And another good one, actually. The Pies tried to get a bit of redemption. But GWS held them off once again by just a couple of points.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, just a couple of points. And, geez, the two greens for GWS played well, Toby and Tom.
Yeah. Well, I think if it wasn't for Matt Rowell, I think Tom Green would probably win the Rising Star this year. He was dubbed as one of the best young players going in to this season. So he probably wishes Matt Rowell wasn't playing. Otherwise, he'd probably have the Rising Star.
Well, his form speaks for itself, definitely.
You see the way he grabbed the ball like one-handed Kuta style. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
How big is that man's hands?
Crazy. And he's, 18, 19 years old, so he's a beast.
He's a kid. He's just a kid, but he's not playing like it, and it's really good to see him coming out of his shell early. So that was really good. And some bad news coming out of that game. Jeremy Howe with his PCL.
It was a shocking injury, wasn't it?
It
was bad.
Hard to watch.
Yeah, it was shocking. His knee just bent in. It was terrible.
Do you go? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, and he's been in unbelievable form as well so far this season. He's probably in line to get an All-Australian jumper as well. So
Definitely. He holds Collingwood's back line together. He's the general back there. And it was really tough to see him go down. Do you think this will hurt his high-flying game when he comes back?
Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't really had an injury. Has he had injuries like this before?
Not
don't
that
think so.
I'm aware of. Not that I can remember.
Yeah.
So his game obviously consists of a lot of high-flying and spectacular marks. I wonder if this is going to hinder that.
Man, it looked pretty bad. It looked like something that would really harm you down the track, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like something where you're going to lose a bit of strength through there.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
You saw straight away, as soon as it happened, he was screaming. You could see it, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
So all the best for Jeremy Howe. Hopefully he can recover quickly and make the most of this season and recover.
Well, he does reckon he could get back by the end of the season.
Apparently it is possible.
Yeah.
It just depends how far, I guess, how Collingwood go in the, making a run for finals. Yeah. Risk and reward, you got to really weigh it up. A bit like Richmond last year with Alex Rance, whether they were going to bring him back or not, and they decided not to in the end. So we'll just see how Jeremy recovers and have to go from there. So we'll go to Port Adelaide West Coast now, and West Coast are still in struggle town. I don't think they're loving the hubs up there at all. It's really not doing them any wonders.
Well, they're trying not to blame the hubs, but that's all bullshit, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah.
Clearly, they just don't look interested at all. They just, I don't know.
Well, time will tell when they get back down into WA. If they start playing well in WA, then you just know it was just they weren't interested.
Yeah.
Which, in my eyes, is no excuse.
No.
You're given what you dealt. You got to play away games anyway.
Well, Port Adelaide are doing fine up there, aren't they?
Yeah, we're top of the ladder.
Exactly. So it's, I don't know. They can't use it as an excuse. Like that, and they're playing pretty poor as well.
Yeah.
They've been losing by a fair bit in all their games. So it's I think. Yeah, I don't want to judge the Eagles, not until they get back to WA, and then we'll see how they are.
Yeah, before we can make our call.
Yeah.
What about Charlie Dixon?
Jeez,
he's a beast.
That was
isn't he?
one of the best key forward games you'll ever see. He was taking contested marks, kicking them from anywhere.
Kick 6, didn't he?
Kick 6, yeah.
Huge.
So I think this could be the year. He's been around a while now. This could be the year where he really takes off and establishes himself as one of the best forwards in the game. Possibly an All-Australian because he's got the physique for it and he's got the goal kicking ability.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of physique, I was going to say I'm not sure what's more impressive, his performance on the weekend or that shirtless photo of him in Cancun's with his rig out. Jeez, that's an impressive rig.
He's an absolute hate to play on him. He just looks
huge.
so strong and So if he can stay consistent this year, I think he'll be an All-Australian for sure.
Oh,
especially
definitely.
if Port keep winning.
I was going to say if Port keep winning, then midfielders can keep hitting him up the way they have been. Yeah, he's definitely in the run for it.
Yeah.
So we'll go on to probably one of the harder games of the week for me, St Kilda Richmond. I don't know what to say anymore about the Tigers.
I'm not going to say anything. You just take the floor.
Just personally from a Richmond standpoint, I'm just tired of seeing no effort being put in anymore. I mean, there's only a handful of players that you can see that actually want to be out there on the pitch. Now, mind you, I sprayed Jack Riewoldt last week, or shot Bambi, as a lot of people were saying, but he gave effort this week, and it was good to see.
He heard you.
Yeah, he heard it. He heard the rant. Thanks for listening, Jack, because he heard it. But no one else really gave. It was hard to find someone that wanted to be there. Cochin needs a weight belt because his shoulders were going to be ruined from carrying that team. Honestly, him and Toby Nankervis, who was a welcomed inclusion back in the side, I think. He hasn't played a game really this year with Ivan Soldo keeping him out, but he came in and really dominated. He's one of the best on ground, so I'm really glad he came back into the side. But I won't make it all about Richmond. I'll talk about ex-Richmond player Dan Butler, who tore us apart, really. He kicked 3 goals, but he just had a lot of the footy, and geez, he's a good player. It hurts Richmond, I think, that we got rid of him now.
You can tell he played with a lot of intent that game, just to show Richmond's thanks for getting rid of me.
Yeah, big time. I mean, at the time, Richmond had that many small forwards. You had to cull someone, and he wasn't performing at that stage. But I mean, then you look at this week where we've dropped, Daniel Rioli and a couple other smaller forwards like that. It just he would have slotted in perfectly, especially with his form. So St Kilda would be loving that. And St Kilda just played really well.
They did look good, didn't they?
Yeah, they looked very good. I think Brett Ratton's made them look like a more mature side.
Yeah,
they look like they're ready to hit the competition hard. So hopefully for them, they can keep up this good form. And I know they've been a bit inconsistent over the last couple of seasons, where they showed glimpses. It'd be good to see them do this consistently.
Yeah, well, they had that loss against Collingwood last week where they got dominated. So they just need to find that consistency, the Saints. And if they can play like that every week, they play like that against the Dogs the other week. If they can keep that up,
100%.
They'll play finals.
Well, if they played it like they did against Richmond the other night against Collingwood last week, they would have given Collingwood a good run.
Yeah, sure.
Mind you, Richmond didn't play well, but just the way St Kilda did play,
Yeah.
I don't want to discredit them because they did really well. So
They just play Marvel Stadium really well.
yeah, they know how to work the ground really good.
Yeah.
I'll leave this next one to you now. Essendon versus Carlton.
Oh God,
How's the heart feeling?
Oh, mate, I've only just calmed down from that. Honestly, Carlton this year they're going to shorten all our bloody lives watching their games. Lost to Melbourne by a point in round 2, beat Geelong by 2 points in last round, and we beat Essendon by a point.
I'm telling you, Carlton need to send pacemakers to all the members. Mate. I told you last week.
It's ridiculous.
I stand by it.
But there's nothing better than beating Essendon, especially by a point. The game was a bit sloppy, but I felt like Carlton were all over Essendon for the majority of the night, and it would have been pretty undeserving if Essendon did pinch the win at the end. So yeah, it was good to get the result in the end, and puts the Blues 2-2. Their best start in a few years now, so it's good. They're usually known for starting the seasons off pretty poorly, so to be 2-2 is great, and beating the arch rival is even sweeter.
Well, speaking of sweet, how sweet was Sam Docherty with the football?
Mate, I don't have enough words to describe Sam Docherty. He's absolute class. He's an incredible leader. He had 32 disposals and went at 91% disposal efficiency. Your favourite word.
Disposal efficiency, that's unbelievable.
No, it is.
To have that many touches and be that clean with it.
He's just so calm and composed across half back. And he hasn't played in 2 years, and he's just come straight back in and he's dominating already.
Carlton just looked like a better side with Docherty playing.
Absolutely. And, I used to say it all the time. I used to say Sam Docherty's our most important player, and everyone would be like, surely Cripps is. But, mate, it just shows Docherty. He sets everything up from the back line, never misses a target, and his leadership through there is incredible. And he makes Cade Simpson play a lot better as well, because they can share that leadership across half back. He's great, and the way he's playing, he's probably going to get another All-Australian jumper too.
Well, I hope so for him. It'd be a great story to see him come back after 2 years, winning an All-Australian.
And another one that's in contention as well is Big Levi. He's in career best form.
Buckets, his hands.
Buckets, mate. He doesn't drop them up.
Yeah, he can't drop one.
And he's kicking everything as well now. That was his biggest issue, was his shots at goal, and he's got that. And I think he's third in the Coleman at the moment, so he's doing really well. And for me, he's the most improved player in the game in the last 12 months. I was put my hand up. I was the first person to bash him, a few years ago when he was just playing putrid. But now he's improved his game so much, and he's one of our most important players now. So
100%.
I'm very happy for him.
He was extremely inconsistent over the last couple of years, so it's good to see him, hit that form and do it week in, week out consistently. So it's really good.
It was good. It was good to get the result in the end. The boys are. Since I sprayed them in round 2, they've really come out firing, which is good.
Can you spray the tykes for me?
I might have to.
Well, like you said, nothing better than beating Essendon, especially by a point. So we'll move on to the Gold Coast Freo game. I think our second team at heart now, Gold Coast. Geez, they're exciting to watch.
Very exciting to watch.
This is 3 on the trot now.
Yeah, they're sitting second on the ladder. Can you believe it?
Who would have thought?
It's crazy.
Oh, I never would have picked this. I mean, Freo are yet to win a game, so. You'd say Gold Coast coming in this should probably, with their form, we're always going to beat Fremantle. But like you said, the last couple of years, Suns have always had good starts and dropped off. But it doesn't look like they're going to do it.
No, it doesn't. It's it is good to see that, although they have had all their games at Metricon, but I don't know. They could never win there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So
they are looking much better and super exciting. I think there's been a few calls for them to put them on a Friday night as well. So. You never know.
Well, with the fixture being placed the way it is at the moment, there's always room for that.
Yeah.
It'll be really good.
It'd be good to see.
Once again, no one can stop Matty Rao.
He's an absolute beast.
What were you telling me before we started recording? How he's third on the Brownlow now?
Third favourite for the Brownlow now.
That's ridiculous. First-year player.
It's unbelievable.
Has that ever happened? First-year player win the Brownlow? I don't think it has.
I think potentially Brad Hardy in the 80s. I did hear this on the Sunday Footy Show.
Oh, right.
So it has happened. But very rare for this era.
Oh, yeah. The way the game's played at this age. You just don't see it in this day and age. First-year player winning the Brownlow. So, There's a few other good players in contention for it, but geez, it'd be exciting to see if he could do it.
What a story. What a story that would be.
Especially if the Gold Coast, make a run at finals this year as well, which no one would ever have predicted to happen.
Yeah. He just plays like a he plays like he's played for 10 years. It's incredible.
Oh, he's just so composed.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on now to Brisbane, Adelaide. Crows, a little bit better.
A little bit better. Like, they made a bit of a game of it in the third quarter, but Brisbane did kick away a bit, and they absolutely sprayed a lot of their chances, Brisbane.
Wow. Lachie Neale was 6 behinds and McCluggage with 5.
That's unheard of.
That's awful.
And they're midfielders, and they're kicking that many behinds.
Well, even for them to have that many shots on goal,
Yeah, I know.
That says enough in itself.
Exactly right. So, Brisbane could have won that by 100 points.
Oh, easily. I mean, Lachie Neale, I think, ruined a few multis there with his 6 behinds.
Yeah, he did. Including mine.
Including yours. I saw he came out on Twitter and said he owes a few people a beer after that one.
Yeah, 6 behinds for a midfielder is incredible. But best on ground performance again from Lachie Neale. He'd be probably favourite for the Brownlow, I'd say.
Yeah, he'd have to be.
Yeah.
He'd have to
So I think he'd be Matty Real's competition.
At this stage, even with his 6 behinds, he'd be...
Yeah, I think he would have got the 3 votes today, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Also, it was good to see the Crows, though, just put in a bit more effort this week. It looked like they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Compared to the other last few weeks.
Insipid the first few weeks.
Yeah.
No, it was good. Yeah, they definitely made a bit of a game of it, but yeah, Brisbane are way too good in the end.
Brisbane are a quality side.
I think it's good to see that they backed up last year as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were worried they weren't going to do that. So
it was just a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, but it was good to see. I'm glad they've had a long run of not much success since those 3 premierships in the early days. So it's good to see them come back. So we'll go down to Melbourne for Melbourne versus Geelong. Another nail biter this week.
It was a nail biter, but was the game good?
No, the game wasn't that great. But in terms of close scores, tight finishes,
for sure. I think Geelong let Melbourne back into that a bit.
Yeah.
That would have been another, like, if Melbourne pinched that, they probably didn't deserve it. I think Geelong controlled that game for most of it. But yeah, I don't know. Worrying signs for both teams, really.
Yeah.
Especially Geelong. I think everyone expected a fair bit of them this year.
I was going to say, Geelong won the game, but do you still think they're underperforming?
Pretty unconvincing.
I mean, from last year's performance, not to discredit Carlton last week, but they probably should have beaten Carlton.
Yeah, down in Geelong. Yeah,
down in Geelong, and then they come in and only just beat Melbourne, who are another side that are underperforming. Is that worrying signs for Geelong, or do you think they're just warming up?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like, I don't know. I think everyone sort of expected Geelong to, be towards the top. But I don't know. They just haven't been convincing at all. And I don't think have they had? I don't think they've had one convincing performance so far this year.
No.
So, I think there'll definitely be some cause for concern for sure. But don't write them off yet.
Well, they've got the talent. That's the thing,
exactly.
Don't they? I mean, you got Ablett, Selwood, Dangerfield, Ratugolea, Mitch Duncan, Cam Garth. They've got Tom Hawkins. They've got all the names. They've just got to find a way to put it together and hit the season running.
But Melbourne, on the other hand, they don't look like they're gonna take that massive step like everyone thought they would, or bounce back after last year.
No, it's looking like another 2019 for them.
Yeah,
definitely
for sure.
Hopefully they can turn it around, but they're not convincing with the way they're playing at the moment. But nor are a lot of teams, though, I should say.
It's true.
In saying that, a lot of teams this year don't really look like they're going to cause much trouble for anyone else. So, it's always a chance to turn it around, but at this stage, Melbourne don't look like doing too much. Hawthorn versus North Melbourne. Now, this is a game I know we were watching together earlier. We were just about to walk out and start recording with about 10 minutes left in the game, thinking Hawthorn were going to have a comfortable win.
Jeez. Our headline for this game was Hawthorn get home comfortably.
Jeez, North gave a good run at the end, didn't
they came home that strong. There was another couple of minutes left in that game. North would have won.
North took it. North takes that game. 100%. They honestly had all over the Hawks. Hawks couldn't find a way to stop them.
They couldn't touch it, Hawthorn, in that last 10 minutes. So it was exciting. Very exciting last quarter, that was.
Oh, it really was. It really was. Both teams had late outs with stars. John Patton for the Hawks and Cunnington for North Melbourne. Lost them late just before the game started. So it was interesting to see. And geez, Warple, how good is he?
He's a star. What's he in his second or third year?
I think his third year.
Yeah. He's crazy. He wears the number 5 as well. Like, Sam Mitchell clone he is.
You have
he's a
to
star.
earn that number, and
Yeah.
he's living up to it. He's filling in the shoes very well.
Yeah. So he's an absolute superstar. But it was good. Even Chad Wingard played really well. Again, he's having a really good season.
Kicked another 3 goals
Yeah.
today, and he's being very consistent.
Yeah.
That's 3 in a couple of weeks, I think, now he's kicked. So, very good. Very good signs from the Hawks. I think they backed up their performance last week against the Tigers, and it's looking like they're going to be pretty consistent the way they're going.
Yeah. I think they look like they're going to play finals, I reckon, the way they're going at the moment.
Well, it'd be good to see. Well, I mean, I think we've seen enough of Hawthorn in the finals, but for Hawks supporters, I definitely love to see it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all our games for the week. We had as we said, a few close games, very interesting calls throughout the week. And we'll move on to our audience engagement question, which is, should Port Adelaide be considered premiership favourites? They're sitting top of the ladder. They're winning their games pretty convincingly. However, the teams they're beating aren't exactly top-tier teams.
That's what I was going to say. They haven't beaten anyone of note yet. Although they did beat West Coast.
They did beat West Coast.
Who are considered to be in that top echelon of teams, but...
Their form says otherwise as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Only thing I can say to back that claim up for Port would be that they're playing good footy.
Yeah.
They're playing really good footy.
I think they're going under the radar.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, which is probably good for them.
They're playing. Yeah. They're sitting top of the ladder, but everyone's still saying, "No, they're not beating any great sides." Yeah. But they're pumping a few good, a few sides.
They've got a very strong percentage.
Yeah. They're I think it's like 216 at the moment or something like that, way above anyone else, and they're a game clear.
Yeah.
So I mean, hitting their season. I mean, I know they had an easier run, but hitting the season like that's a really good start. So. Yeah. All right, and before we wrap it up for this week's games, we'll go over all the votes that we've given. I'll start off with the Sydney Bulldogs game. I gave my 1 vote to the forever consistent Marcus Bontempelli, my 2 votes to Tom Papley, and my 3 votes for Tim English.
All right, and for GWS and Collingwood, we go 1 vote to Tom Green, 2 votes to Brodie Grundy, and 3 votes to Toby Green.
All right, for Port Adelaide West Coast, I give my 1 vote to Josh Kennedy, my 2 votes to Brad Ebert, and my 3 votes for Charlie Dixon.
He is considered the GOAT at the moment at
Well,
Port Adelaide.
the way he's playing, yeah.
For St Kilda Richmond, we go 1 vote to the Nank, Toby Nankervis, 2 votes to Jack Steele, and 3 votes to the former Tiger, Dan Butler.
Killed us. For Essendon Carlton, my 1 vote went to Buckets Casbolt, my 2 votes went to David Cunningham, and 3 votes to Sam Doherty, the general down back for Carlton.
Gold Coast Freo, 1 vote to Brandon Ellis, 2 votes to Matt Tabernar, and 3 votes to Matty Rowell.
And Brisbane Adelaide, I've given 1 vote to Jared Berry, 2 votes to Hugh McCluggage, and my 3 votes for Lockie Neal, head of the leaderboard at the moment.
Melbourne Geelong, we go 1 vote to Maxi Gawn, 2 votes to Cam Guthrie, and 3 votes to Sam Menegola.
And finally for the week, Hawthorn versus North Melbourne. 1 vote to Chad Wingard, 2 votes to Todd Goldstein, and 3 votes to James Warple. So that's all we got for this episode. So make sure you tune in for a big round 5 preview. And if you can, please give us a review, share it around with your friends. We really appreciate all the support. And can't wait to see you for episode 8.